We're going to start reading good night stories for rebel girls for some nice bedtime stories. To the rebel girls of the world, dream bigger, aim higher, fight harder, and when in doubt, remember, you are right. Ada Lovelace, mathematician, United Kingdom, December 10th, 1815 to November 27th, 1852. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Ada who loved machines. She also loved the idea of flying. She studied birds to work out the perfect balance between wing size and body weight. She tested out materials and tried out several designs. She never managed to soar like a bird, but she created a beautiful book full of drawings called Flyology, where she recorded all of her findings. One night, Ada went to a ball. There she met a grumpy old mathematician named Charles Babbage. Ada was a brilliant mathematician herself, and the two soon became good friends. Charles invited Ada to see a machine he had invented. He called it the difference engine. It could automatically add and subtract numbers. No one had ever done that before. Ada was hooked. But what if we built a machine that could make more complicated calculations, she said. Excited, Ada and Charles started working. The machine was huge and it required an enormous steam engine. Ada wanted to go further. What if this machine could play music and show letters as well as numbers? She was describing a computer, way before modern computers were invented. Ada wrote the first computer program in history. That brain of mine is something more than merely mortal, as time will show. Ada Lovelace. Alec Weck, supermodel, Sudan, born April 16, 1977. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Alec who would stop by a mango tree to get a snack on her way home from school. In Alec's village, there was no running water nor electricity. She had to walk to a well for drinking water, but she and her family lived a simple and happy life. Then a terrible war broke out, and Alec's life changed forever. As the warning sirens wailed over their village, Alec and her family had to run away from the fighting. It was the rainy season. The river had flooded. The bridges across it were underwater, and Alec could not swim. She was terrified of drowning, but her mom helped her to cross safely to the other side. Along the way, Alec's mom traded packets of salt for food and passports because they didn't have any money. They managed to escape from the war and made their way to London. One day, she was in a park when a talent scout from a famous modeling agency approached her. He wanted to recruit Alec as a model. Alec's mother did not want to hear about it, but the agent persisted, and she finally agreed. Alec looked so different from any other model that she instantly became a sensation. Alec wants every girl on the planet to know, you are beautiful. It's okay to be quirky. It's fine to be shy. You don't have to go with the crowd. When beauty shines from within, there can be no denying it. Alec Weck. Alfonsina Strada, cyclist, Italy, March 16, 1891 to September 13, 1959. Once there was a girl who could ride a bike so fast that you could barely see her. "Don't go so fast, Alfonsina," her parents would scream. Too late. She had already whizzed past. When she got married, Her family hoped that she would finally give up this crazy idea of becoming a cyclist. Instead, on her wedding day, her husband gifted her a brand new racing bike. They moved to Milan, and Alfonsina started to train professionally. She was so fast and so strong that a few years later she entered the Giro d'Italia, one of the toughest races in the world. No other woman had ever attempted it before. She'll never make it, people said. But nobody could stop Alfonsina. The race was long and strenuous, with 21-day-long stages along some of the steepest mountain roads in Europe. Of the 90 cyclists who started out, only 30 made it across the finish line. Alfonsina was one of them. She was greeted as a hero. The next year, she was barred from competing. Giro d'Italia is a men's race, the officials declared. But that didn't stop her either. She raced all the same, and she set a speed record that stood for 26 years, even though she rode a 44-pound, one-gear bike. She would be happy to know that things have changed a lot since then. Now, women's cycle racing is hugely popular. It's even an Olympic sport. Nobody can stop my bike. Alfonsina Strada. Alicia Alonso, ballerina, Cuba, born December 21st, 1921. Once upon a time, there was a blind girl who became a great ballerina. Her name was Alicia. Alicia grew up sighted and was already a wonderful ballerina with a great career ahead of her when she fell ill. Her eyesight got worse and worse. She was forced to stay in bed for months without moving. But Alicia had to dance, so she danced in the only way she could. I danced in my mind. Blinded, motionless, flat on my back, I taught myself to dance Giselle. One day, the New York City Ballet's prima ballerina injured herself. They called Alicia to step in. She was already partially blind, but how could she say no? The ballet was Giselle. As soon as she started to dance, the audience fell in love with her. Alicia danced with grace and confidence, even though she could barely see. She trained her partners to be exactly where she needed them at just the right time. Her style was so unique that she was asked to dance with her ballet company all over the world. But her dream was to bring classical ballet to Cuba, her home country. Back from her travels, she started to teach classical ballet to Cuban dancers. She founded the Alicia Alonso Ballet Company, which later became the Ballet Nacional de Cuba. I hope you enjoyed the 4 women we've learned about tonight. Inspiring stories for a good night's sleep. And we'll see you back tomorrow for 4 more.